What if I told you that you're not really in control of about half of your day? That nearly half of your actions, your decisions, and everything that follows aren't the result of conscious choice, but something else entirely. Research suggests that a stunning 43% of what we do every day isn't based on decisions, but on habits. That's almost half of your life running on autopilot. Think about every New Year's resolution that didn't stick, every gym membership that gathered dust, every promise you made to yourself to eat healthier, wake up earlier, or read more books that just faded away. That wasn't a failure of willpower. It wasn't because you were lazy. It was because you were fighting a battle against an invisible force, a deeply programmed system inside your own brain. Willpower is a terrible way to change your life, because you're trying to consciously command a part of your brain that is specifically designed to be unconscious. For years, scientists have understood the basic mechanics of this system. It's a simple, powerful, neurological pattern that governs everything from how you brush your teeth to why you can't stop scrolling on your phone. It's called the habit loop. And while it can feel like a prison that keeps you stuck in patterns you hate, it's also a system that you can learn to hack. In this video, we're going to break down the science behind this powerful loop. We'll expose the hidden architecture of your habits, and then I'm going to give you a simple, 3-step trick to hijack this system, a method to install any good habit you want, almost automatically. So if you've ever felt frustrated by your own patterns, get ready. You're about to learn how to stop fighting your brain and start reprogramming it. To understand how to build good habits, you first have to understand why it can feel so impossible. Why, despite our best intentions, we find ourselves sliding back into the same old routines. The answer lies deep in the wiring of our brains, in a story of two very different players, the prefrontal cortex and the basal ganglia. The prefrontal cortex is the you that you know best. It's the CEO of your brain, sitting right behind your forehead. It handles all the big picture stuff, making decisions, planning for the future, and using willpower. When you decide, okay, starting tomorrow I'm going to wake up at 6 a.m. and run, that's your prefrontal cortex talking. It's logical, it's ambitious, and it gets tired really easily. Conscious thought takes a ton of mental energy. Now your brain is an efficiency machine. It's always looking for shortcuts to save energy. And that's where our second character comes in, the basal ganglia. Think of this as the brain's factory floor. It's a group of structures deep inside that handle automatic processes, like motor control, learned procedures, and, you guessed it, habits. When you do something for the first time, your prefrontal cortex is working overtime. But as you repeat that action again and again, your brain starts to automate it. Control slowly shifts from the energy-guzzling prefrontal cortex to the super-efficient basal ganglia. The behavior gets etched into a neural pathway, and just like that, it's a habit. This is what lets you drive to work without thinking about every single turn or brush your teeth while your mind is a million miles away. Your brain has offloaded the task to save precious mental energy. This whole process is what scientists call the habit loop. It's a simple 3-part pattern at the heart of every single habit you have. Popularized by author Charles Duhigg in his book, The Power of Habit, it consists of a cue, a routine, and a reward. The cue is the trigger. It's the signal that tells your brain to switch to autopilot and run a specific habit. Cues can be almost anything. A time of day, like the 3 p.m. slump, an emotion, feeling stressed, a place, your kitchen, a sound, your phone buzzing, or the action you just finished, like finishing dinner. The routine is the habit itself, the physical or mental action you take. This could be grabbing a cookie, opening up social media, or lacing up your running shoes. And finally, the reward. This is the payoff your brain gets for doing the routine. The reward is critical because it tells your brain, hey, this whole loop, it was good. Let's remember it for next time. It reinforces the connection between the cue and the routine. This entire loop gets a massive boost from a powerful brain chemical, dopamine. Dopamine is often called the pleasure molecule, but it's really more about motivation and craving. When your brain even anticipates a reward, it releases dopamine. That chemical surge creates the wanting, the craving, that drives the habit loop. It's the craving that makes you reach for a cookie even when you're not hungry. It's the craving for a distraction that makes you check your phone. Your brain doesn't just remember the reward, it starts to crave it the second the cue appears. This is why habits are so tough to break. They aren't just ideas, they're physically wired into the automatic machinery of your basal ganglia. Trying to use willpower to fight an ingrained habit is like trying to stop a factory assembly line by yelling at it. You're using the wrong tool. You're fighting a system that evolved specifically to run without you. It's an invisible prison, but here's the good news. You don't need to break out of the prison. You just need to learn how to hijack it. So, how do you take the wheel? How do you go from being a passenger to the driver of your own habits? The secret isn't to destroy the habit loop. You can't. It's a fundamental part of your brain. The secret is to consciously rebuild it, to become the architect of your own mind. We're going to do this with a simple 3-step hijack. It's a method for taking apart your unwanted habits and using that same structure to build new, better ones. The 3 steps are: isolate the cue, redefine the routine, and supercharge the reward. Step 1. Isolate the cue. To change a habit, you first have to figure out what's actually triggering it. This sounds easy, but our cues are often hiding in plain sight. You think you grab a snack in the afternoon because you're hungry, but are you? Or are you just bored? Or is it simply because the clock struck 3 p.m.? If you don't know what's starting the engine, you can't steer the car. So, for 1 week, become a habit detective. Every time you feel the urge for that bad habit, pull out a notepad and jot down the answers to these 5 questions, a framework used by habit researchers. 1. Where are you? 2. What time is it? 3. What's your emotional state? 4. Who else is here? 5. What did I just do? Let's say you want to stop mindlessly scrolling social media. After a few days, a pattern emerges. It's not just when I'm bored. It's when I'm alone at my desk, right after I finish a difficult task. All of a sudden, that vague cue becomes a crystal clear trigger. You've isolated it. The end of a stressful task is the cue that sends your brain looking for the reward of a mental escape. Now you have a specific moment you can work with. You've made the invisible visible. Step 2. Redefine the routine. Once you know your cue, you have a choice. The cue is still going to happen. You'll still finish that hard task, and your brain will still crave a reward. The old loop wants you to open Instagram. Your job is to have a new, better routine ready to go. The golden rule of habit change is this: keep the cue, provide a similar reward, but insert a new routine. This is where most people go wrong. They make the new routine way too big. They go from couch potato to planning a 1-hour workout every day. This is a recipe for failure because it creates too much friction. So to succeed, your new routine must follow 3 laws inspired by James Clear's Atomic Habits. Make it obvious, make it attractive, and most importantly, make it easy. First, make it obvious. Design your environment to nudge you in the right direction. If you want to drink more water, put a water bottle on your desk, next to your bed, everywhere. Want to run in the morning? Lay out your clothes and shoes the night before. Second, make it attractive. Your brain is more likely to do something if it sounds fun. Use a trick called temptation bundling. Pair something you want to do with something you need to do. For example, you only get to listen to your favorite podcast while you're exercising. Third, and this is the game changer, make it easy. A new habit should feel almost laughably simple to start. The goal on day 1 isn't a huge result, it's just to show up. Use what's called the 2-minute rule. Scale down your new habit so it takes less than 2 minutes. Read more books becomes read 1 page. Do yoga every day becomes roll out my yoga mat. Run 3 miles becomes put on my running shoes. Anyone can read 1 page. Anyone can roll out a mat. By making it so easy you can't say no, you conquer the inertia that kills most habits before they even start. You're mastering the art of showing up, and often once you start, you'll keep going. But even if you don't, you still completed the routine. You reinforced the new loop. Consistency is so much more important than intensity when you're starting out. Step 3. Supercharge the reward. Okay, you've found your cue. You've designed a routine that's obvious, attractive, and easy. Now for the final step, you have to close the loop. You need to give your brain an immediate, satisfying reward. This is another huge mistake people make. The rewards for good habits are often delayed. The benefit of working out is a healthier body months from now. The benefit of saving money is financial freedom years from now. Your brain doesn't care about future you. It wants a payoff right now. So, after you complete your new 2-minute routine, you need to celebrate immediately. After you read one page, close the book and give yourself a mental high five. After you put on your running shoes and step outside, feel the pride of having followed through. A super effective method is using a habit tracker. Get a calendar and draw a big satisfying X through each day you complete your habit. Seeing that chain of X's grow is a powerful immediate reward. It creates a new craving, the desire to not break the chain. Let's put it all together. Let's say you want to stop procrastinating by scrolling on your phone. Step 1. Isolate the cue. You realize the cue is finishing a hard task at your desk. Step 2. Redefine the routine. Your old routine was grabbing your phone. Your new 2-minute routine is to stand up, do a 30-second stretch, and walk to the kitchen to refill your water bottle. You've made it obvious by putting a sticky note on your monitor that says, stretch. It's easy. It takes less than 2 minutes. Step 3. Supercharge the reward. After you stretch and get water, you walk to your habit tracker and draw that big X on today's date. That feeling of progress is the reward. You've just built a new, positive loop. Now, when the cue hits, your brain has a healthier path to follow. With repetition, that path gets stronger and more automatic, until eventually, it's just what you do. You've reprogrammed your brain. This framework isn't just theory. It's a practical blueprint that really works. Think about someone trying to quit smoking. For years, they tried willpower, just saying no every time they had a craving, but it never stuck. Using this framework, they first identified their main cue: stress. The moment they felt overwhelmed at work, their brain screamed for a cigarette. The reward wasn't just the nicotine, it was the 5-minute break and the deep breaths they took while smoking. So they kept the cue, stress, and the reward, a moment of calm, but they swapped the routine. Instead of reaching for a cigarette, they would stand up, walk outside, and do a 5-minute focused breathing exercise. Or think about the busy professional who wanted to read more. Read more is a terrible, vague goal, so they made it tiny. They decided to read just one page of a book each night before bed. The cue was getting into bed. The routine was reading one single page, so easy it was impossible to refuse. The reward was the simple satisfaction of turning off the light, knowing they'd done it. Soon enough, one page turned into 2, then 10, then a whole chapter. Reading became a natural part of their evening, not a chore. Even something like nail-biting can be tackled. A student became aware that her cue was anxiety during lectures. The routine was biting her nails. The reward? A momentary distraction. She replaced the routine. When she felt the urge, she would instead clench her fists or squeeze a small stress ball in her pocket. She rewarded herself with a mental good job for choosing the new action. By swapping the routine with something harmless, she gradually broke a lifelong habit. These stories show you don't need a heroic dose of willpower. You just need a smarter strategy. You need to work with your brain's natural machinery, not against it. So that's the playbook. The invisible script running your life, the habit loop, and the 3-step method to become its editor. Isolate the cue, redefine the routine, and supercharge the reward. Now, this isn't a magic pill. It takes real effort. Research shows it takes, on average, about 2 months for a new behavior to become automatic. And that can vary a lot from person to person, sometimes taking much longer. So be patient with yourself. Don't see setbacks as failures, see them as data. Every time you slip up, it's a chance to learn more about your cues and what rewards truly satisfy you. You have the blueprint now. You have the knowledge to go from being a creature of your habits to the creator of your habits. So here's my challenge to you. Pick one thing, just one habit you want to build. In the comments below, tell us what it is and what your 2-minute version of that routine will be. Just sharing it is a powerful first step. Stop fighting your brain. Start working with it. If you reprogram your autopilot, you'll fundamentally change the entire trajectory of your life. Thanks for watching. If this was helpful, hit that subscribe button for more videos on using science to build a better life.